Hello, and welcome to another video. I just woke up, so my voice sounds weird. Sorry about it. Anyway, today we're going to be going through 2 more sketchbooks. We're doing 13 and 14 today. We're doing 2 again just because I have another issue where there is like nothing in these. So we're going through them. These are another Canson XL Media sketchbooks. These are 9 inches by 12 inches. And these are actually mostly from Inktober of 2016. So I've done Inktober a couple of times. I think I've only finished it once, and I don't really do it anymore, just because it gave me burnout, and even when I try to do stuff like Cute Girl October, I only do like half of it, so I try to set more realistic expectations for myself. I can't ink a drawing and sketch a drawing all in one day. I know not everybody does that. Some people will sketch beforehand, but even sketching 31 drawings out in advance is a lot, so I'm probably not going to do Inktober this year either, but if you are interested in maybe leveling up your inking, doing it every day could help you out, but I would just be aware of burnout because that really is a thing with those month-long challenges. So let's just go ahead and get into these sketchbooks. Alright, the first one is a drawing from a kid that I used to babysit. I was going to do some garnet fusions for a drawing. I think I only ever finished this one, but that one is Sugalite, and that one is, I can't even remember her name. I'm trying to redraw tried to do a spade character in my last sketchbook. My OC's holding hands, and he's crying, and she's like comforting him, but like in a really passive sort of way. Just a little body. Another one of those emoji heads. I think I used my light box and transferred this to another paper. That one's always been my favorite. Another emoji head. My sister hated these. I thought that was just so funny though. Who even knows what that is? Another little drawing. Another one. It's just, the body is like, the chest is so wide. Like, listen, your shoulders can be wide, right? But your chest, if you look at the human body, your chest is not going to be as wide as your shoulders. Your shoulders should be the widest point on your body typically, usually, not always, but typically, right? So the shoulders should be out, but the chest should be in a little bit more. Another emoji drawing. I think I actually have this one on a phone case. My mom bought it for me because it had my stuff up on Redbubble for a while. And I still have it. It's around here somewhere. Something that I didn't finish, but I think it was going to be pretty dark. They're planning for an emoji head. Something sweet, I guess. It looks very cute. I don't know if he's proposing or if he's just kissing her on the hand. Alright, day 1 of Inktober, a seasonal witch. I think I was actually following the Witchtober prompts. I cannot remember who they were for because this was 8 years ago, but yeah, this is for the Witchtober prompts. And I wanted to draw a witch that was like obviously a winter witch. And I was like, thought it would be cool if she was missing an arm. And so I don't know why she has a long sleeve on the arm that's missing and a short sleeve on the arm that is not missing. That's nice. And also, it's supposed to be like pants, but I feel like it kind of just looks like she has like a really short dress on. And then because it's not colored, since this was inking, I didn't realize that you could use different like values, I guess, with ink. Well, not values, but I could just fill in color like the black all the way. I was just using it as line art and not using the ink as its own medium and a way of coloring things in. If I was going to go back and do it now, I would have just filled her pants in black just to establish that the pants are black. So yeah, I don't hate this one. We're getting into like the section of art where I don't exactly hate it. It's just like old. Alright, and this is day 2. She was an urban witch. I tried to draw a skyline, but as you can see, I got pretty lazy with it because what is that? I can't draw buildings now either, but now I think I would have put a little bit more effort into it. It's pretty obvious I just gave up. And I did post these like this. I didn't want to, I don't know, clean up the sketches or anything. I think since I was doing them daily, I was being a little bit lazy with it, which is okay, I think. I mean, I was getting the inking practice in, but I was using a brush pen here, This is a garden witch, and she's supposed to be held up by the vines. But as you can see, I didn't plan it out very well because the vines are going over the lines of her body, and so it's actually really confusing to look at. But since I was using a brush pen, I actually was just using it, and I wasn't using it to get line variation. I was just using it with like the same heavy hand across the whole thing, so the lines don't vary. And that's like the whole point of a brush pen, is so you can get line variation without switching to different kinds of pens. I wasn't doing that very much. I think I understand that better now. So maybe if I was going to do that, if I was going to pick up a brush pen again, maybe I would be able to figure it out. But I don't actually have any right now. I think I got rid of all of them. So a vagabond witch. She's got like little creatures in there. A socialite witch. I don't mind this one, but her eyes are like wandering. So it's like, who knows what she's even looking at? I don't know. This is for an oracle. An oracle, I don't think an oracle is a witch, but that's what one of the prompts was. But I didn't finish this one because I redrew it, and you'll see that one in a second. Yeah, I redrew it. I don't know if that other one is better or what, and I also don't know why she's naked, but you better beware. And I think that maybe my brush pen died out because this is different. I was drawing this, and actually, I really still like the face, kind of. It's got a cute little vibe to it, and I think maybe I was afraid of ruining it because I didn't end up doing the body. But to be honest, yeah, the head doesn't really fit with the body, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you why. The reason why the head doesn't fit with the body is because it's too big. It's out of proportion. So generally, the way that bodies are proportioned to heads, your shoulders are typically 2.5 heads wide. Right, so if you take this head and you put like, you get the width of it, you put one here, and then like a little half one there. As you can see, based on a giant ass head, her shoulders are much too narrow. And that's why it feels a little bit off. Well, like I said, you don't actually have to follow these proportions. Like if you draw chibis, the shoulders are not going to be that wide because those are chibi proportions. This is more for like realistic body proportions. But if your style does not have realistic proportions, you don't have to follow that, obviously. Planning for something. This is actually a drawing I had of some OC sisters, and they were like hugging each other for this illustration. I just thought it would be cute, but I never did finish it. They were vampires, but also one of them was a witch, also a vampire and a witch, and the other two had like vampire traits and was mostly vampire, and the other one had like werewolf traits. It was weird. A seamstress witch, and I like the idea, the concept of this one, but I didn't like the way that the drawing was coming out, so I tried it again. And I do like this one too. It's a little bit more chaotic. And then I came up with a thumbnail for this one. And this is actually the one I ended up going with. I actually really do like the concept of having a pin cushion as a hat. Those pins are way too large, but it's a really good way to keep track of your pins without losing the pin cushion. I don't know if seamstresses lose their pin cushion a lot. I think generally they keep them attached to their wrist. But I don't know, something very cute about like having like a little porcupine hat. And I just feel like back then I was really scared of like the more ambitious compositions, like the ones with like the fabric flying around and stuff like that. And so I would settle on things that are a little bit more simple. And so I try to push composition a little bit more now. The next witch, I already know what it is based off of this thumbnail. It's a blood witch. So if you don't like blood, I would go ahead and skip looking at the next picture. I mean, it's not graphic or anything. It's just red. But still, if the idea of blood is gross to you or it's possibly triggering to you, please don't look at it. This is the thumbnail right before that one. And then she's a blood witch. I don't know what the vibe was. Her hair is blood, I guess. I don't know why she's throwing up the blood. But also she chose blood, which is what that ball is in the middle of her hand. This is not... If I was going to do a blood witch now, I would think more of like blood rituals, like making curses on people, like jinxing people, stuff like that. And so I probably would have made it be like a voodoo doll type thing, but I don't know. I don't think you need blood for that. I don't know. This is just a little bit too edgy, I guess. Oh, she's crying blood too. I just noticed that because it's so red. a Lolita witch. I don't really think this looks like Lolita. And also, I think that Lolita is a little bit weird in my opinion. No offense if you like Lolita fashion and stuff. It's just, like the origins of it kind of creep me out. But yeah, I don't think this is a very good drawing. But I do like her tiny little hat and her expression. I drew the poster for Wicked because I needed something for day for Wicked. And I don't think I like the way that my sketch was coming out. I think this is actually what I posted for Wicked Witch. And I guess it's wicked because she's holding like a little poison apple. But the readability is really off because the apple is so small. A solar witch. I don't think that's readable at all. That she's supposed to be playing with like sunbeams. But that's because I wasn't using the ink to get different values. Bunch of random stuff. This is a cotton candy witch. And this is the completed one. Oh, it's just a candy witch, but I chose cotton candy. You can't really tell here, but I did color this at a later time. A pixie sprite. Also not a witch, but the drawing is a little cute. Some more planning out of things. I don't know what I was planning there. I was going to redo that comic again. Listen, you guys. If there's something to redraw in my sketchbook, I'm going to redraw it. This is a drawing of Gohan and Piccolo. But if Piccolo was physically the age that he was, because I don't know if you guys watched Dragon Ball or if you watched Dragon Ball Z or anything, but if you watch Dragon Ball, you know that the current Piccolo we have is the son of King Piccolo, who was like an evil guy. And then when Goku murdered that man, he basically spit up an egg. And so that's when Piccolo was born. And so Piccolo is only technically 4 years older than Gohan, even though he's like an uncle, father type figure to him. But that's just because Namekians age quickly. So I was like, well, what if they aged at the same rate as humans? I mean, it would have really changed the whole vibe of the last arc of Dragon Ball where Piccolo has to fight Goku. But I thought it would be cute just to show what their actual age difference was. So Piccolo's supposed to be 8 here, and Gohan is that's when Gohan was 4. A circle actually looks like pretty nice. I think this is supposed to be for Galaxy Witch. And this is when I started to try watercolor. So we're going to get into the next few sketchbooks. And you're going to hear all about my gripes with watercolor. And see all of my attempts. And see why I didn't like it. And that's the end of this one. So let's get started on the second one. Okay? Okay. So this is sketchbook 14. It's just the second half of Inktober 2016. I don't think there's that many drawings in this one either. So let's just get into it. Okay, so this is the second half of Inktober. I think that's because this says it's November, but I think it's just because I skipped this first page and started drawing in it just because I have first page anxiety. Always have, and I probably always will. Anyway, this is a drawing of Veronica from Heathers, the musical specifically. I was into it at this time. I still really like this drawing. I think it's just because it's got really bold outline. And the pose is bad, but there's something about it I like. A royal witch. I still like this one. I think her face is a little bit off, but I like her vibe. Her little spiderweb dress is cool. She got like a bat cane. She's supposed to have like a bonnet type thing over her head. I don't think it really reads as a bonnet, but if I did the spiderwebs a little bit better, I still think that could work. So I'm not sure if she looks royal. She looks more like old, like, what's it called? Not the nanny, like governess type lady. She looks kind of like a governess, like a no-nonsense governess. But I still like it. Beast Tamer. I didn't ink this, but I did post it. So I'm not sure if that counts. But basically, she's a little Beast Tamer witch, but she's still learning. So her little dragon guy is not listening to her. A Necromancer. This is actually an OC that I had for a long time, and I've kind of phased him out of my OC lineup, and he's changed a lot. He's no longer a Necromancer, and he actually has a lot smaller role in the story than he did. He goes with all those characters that I made in high school with my friends, but he actually was not based off of a person. He was just a character that I made up, which is why, another reason why I decided to, just change the backstories of all those characters, because I was making new characters that were not, all that other stuff. So, yeah. He was a Necromancer, and this is him raising the dead. And he had a very apathetic personality. Another drawing I never finished. This is for a musician witch, but I don't know why I didn't write the name on it. Ooh, I'm skipping the next page because it's cringe. Give me a second. I'll tell you what it is. I don't want to show the drawing, but it's a Hamilton drawing. And it's not that I don't like Hamilton or I think Hamilton is cringe. I mean, I guess Hamilton is cringe now, but I don't really care about that. I still really like the music. It's just that drawing is it's too much, so I got rid of it. This was a drawing. It's still a witch, but I'm not sure what the vibe was for this one. I really like these circle tattoos. I mean, they don't go with the rest of the tattoos. I kind of wish that I had just drawn only the circle tattoos all over her. I'm not good at drawing tattoos. I'm not good at designing tattoos. I don't have any tattoos. Not because I'm against tattoos or tattoo artists or anything. It's just I don't like anything enough to put it on my body. And so I know that if I had to stare at a tattoo that I had forever, I would start to hate it. So I don't have any tattoos. So I don't know how to design tattoos. This is a 2-for-1 because I think I was getting sick of doing things. And also technology, which I made it really small. And it's just a really fun detail that it says witch news, but it's backwards to show that she's the one looking at it. And then mermaid witch, it's just a mermaid with a wand. I got really lazy with these concepts. Little drawing on my OC I didn't finish. A potion brewer, so she's just looking at the cauldron. A comic I didn't do. I didn't finish anyway. An outfit of the day. This is an outfit that I liked to wear, and so I just drew my OC in it. This is a preview. I was trying to draw pose, and so there it is. It's for a warrior witch. An ambitious pose to be sure. And I actually think that yeah, it's taped here. I would take that tape off for you guys, but it's literally just the same drawing. I think I just liked the pose, but I didn't like the way part of it was coming out. So I just taped over it so I could copy it on here with my light box. And this is when I got my light box. A light box is basically, it's like a little box. I mean, it's not like a box. It's like a flat piece of plastic, like acrylic. And inside of it is lights. And so you place a piece of paper over it, right? And then you can trace it onto another paper. So you have a drawing, and then on top of that drawing you put a blank piece of paper, and you could just trace your new drawing onto a new piece of paper. And it's really useful if like you really were erasing really heavily with your sketch, and you're like, this paper is so chewed up, like I cannot line and color on this. Or if you have like a digital sketch, then you print out your digital sketch and you want to transfer it onto a new piece of paper because you want to use like colored pencils to line it or something. So that's what you can use a light box for. It's basically just for tracing. I only use it to trace my own art. So I wouldn't recommend that you guys do that too. I mean, unless you're trying to like understand form or something and you're using it that way, you could use it for that too. Or if you're crediting the references that you're tracing also. I know I don't know about a lot, but I know that sometimes portrait artists, like people who do realism, they trace a picture and they focus more not on the drawing but on the rendering to make it look realistic. They trace photos for that reason. But I don't know much about realism, so you can tell me if that's wrong. Magical school girl. Yes, that was my OC. She was a witch, and she's still, no, I guess she's not really a witch anymore, but at the time she was a witch, and so I was like, what if I just drew her going to some magic school? And so that's what she looked like. I still actually like this drawing. I mean, I like the face a lot, and I always like a bold outline on the outside, just because I'm predictable, I guess. But same OC. I was trying to learn how to put detail in the hair, which is why the hair looks so different in the sketchbook. A lunar witch, so she's just sitting on the moon, but I smeared it like an idiot. Don't know what this was going to be a drawing of. Oh, I know now. This is actually where I came up with the idea for Hope and all of his friends and James. And so I was coming up with their ideas for them. And so I was actually sketching out body types for them. There was a high schooler, which is Levi. Levi is actually really small now. I scrapped this idea. I don't know why. College dropout. So that's Punk. I think that was supposed to be James or like this other guy who was supposed to actually be a villain in the story. But I think I scrapped him. So this is husband and wife. So that's John and Jane Doe. That's the boss. So So yeah, that's why so I guess this is where I birthed the idea, but I don't know if that's where I birthed the idea because I didn't actually finish those sketches, so I don't actually prove that that's who they are. I just know it in my soul. An insect witch, and so I picked a ladybug. A drawing I didn't finish. A drawing of Garnet I never finished. But I think it's supposed to be Cotton Candy Garnet. Yep, there she is, Cotton Candy Garnet. I guess I went back to the pencil for this one. A farm witch, and so she's using the pitchfork to move the hay by itself, so she doesn't have to do it. Good for her. A baker witch, but obviously her baking didn't come out very good. Another drawing of my OCs together. This being cute. Good for them. I think that was the last, is that the last Inktober thing I did? Yo. Ah, yeah, I was trying to do another, this is actually when I got a pen that, I think either I was diluting the ink so I could do ink washes at this point, or, I think I got a pen that maybe just had like lighter ink. I can't remember. I think I was just doing ink wash though. But I wasn't very good at it. Because I don't like working with water, and it was actually kind of frustrating for me. I think the prompt for this was a punk witch. And I just show that someone is a witch by making things float around them, I guess. I got some colored line art pens. And I still tend to do colored line art now. Well, I just tend to not do black as much as I used to, but I don't really do this with a different color on each thing. At least not traditionally. It gives you actually a really soft look, but it's very time consuming. I don't know what this was for, but I actually kind of like that face. Something about the bigness of the eyes, the roundness of the eyes, I really enjoy. It's got a certain sort of charm to it. I hope you guys can see it through the ink wash. A ghost witch, that was one of the prompts. I don't know what that face is, but I'm actually like kind of into it. It looks very haunted. And then I drew like a pumpkin for Halloween. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I got lazy. Trying to draw that piece again of the sisters from my other sketchbook. I wanted to draw something for Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead or whatever, but I didn't like this one. And a drawing I never finished. I think I was still trying to do the Day of the Dead piece there. Absolutely nothing. I tried that Day of the Dead piece again. And this is the Day of the Dead piece I ended up settling on. For a long time, I would check it out on full bodies, and I would just go for portraits if I wasn't working out. A little sketch of the OCs being cute and in love. It goes this one, and then this one. I actually didn't draw this. He's technically my uncle. It's my stepdad's brother, but he's like the same age as me, so I try not to call him my uncle. So he drew this in my sketchbook. We're at the same age, so he was the same age as me when we drew this. He was like, I could draw that, and I was like, okay, draw it. And he did. He drew it. So good for him. I mean, he changed the expression a little bit. And that little cat. And this is James, so this is actually 100% the birthplace of those OCs. So this is the very first drawing of James I ever did. And it's not gonna make me cry, because they've come so far. And I haven't really drawn I haven't colored a piece of James since New Year's. So I don't know if I'm gonna put that on the screen for you guys, because it is a side profile. I cannot remember last time I drew him in his uniform where he was facing forward. So if I can find something, maybe I'll put it up on the screen for you guys, just so you guys can see the difference. And I think that is the very last drawing in this sketchbook. Alrighty, so that was sketchbook 13 and 14. It's a little bit longer, but there still wasn't very many drawings in that sketchbook. I still was only drawing on one side of the paper, but I filled it up a little bit with those Inktober drawings. Those Inktober drawings really helped me finish out these sketchbooks, and so I think they were actually done in like the span of like a couple of months, really, like 2-3 months. But yeah, so if you guys are ever feeling like I'm ready to get rid of the sketchbook and you're like, I want to fill it up, maybe try a monthly challenge. There are actually a bunch of monthly challenges. There's like a monthly challenge literally every month. You just have to pick which one you want to do. Like there's there's like a bunch in February where you could draw fungus or you could draw fairies. And the next one that's coming up, I think, I'm not sure if there's anything for April. I'm sure there is. I just don't know what it is. But I know in May there's mythology where you draw mythical like creatures from mythology, and then there's also mermaid in May. So if you guys are like, I really want to fill up this sketchbook, there's definitely a monthly challenge you can look up on Instagram and fill out your sketchbook. So I think those are really great to challenge yourself. I would just be careful about burnout. Don't push yourself too hard. If you feel like you want to give up and this is too much, go ahead and give up, okay? It's just something to do for yourself. Nobody is pressuring you. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, and if you feel like it's actually really hurting your artistic journey, just stop. Okay, we just have to remember to pace ourselves sometimes, okay? Alrighty, so I'll go ahead and see you guys in the next video. Thanks for spending this time with me. Bye.